Then we have commercial presence, and this relies on you setting up a physical presence in the territory of your trading partner. And then we have mode 4. That is usually the sensitive area because that involves people moving, it involves controls on how long they stay, it involves the quality standards and protection of your consumers to ensure that the services providers are actually coming in to do what they say they're coming in to do.
When we come back, one of the big wins in the EPA, the Protocol on Cultural Cooperation. For those in the business of culture, the EPA includes a very special protocol designed to facilitate collaborations between CARIFORUM and European players. Indeed, many feel it's one of the big wins in the EPA.
Market access for commercial purposes under the agreement is covered by the entertainment commitment of the European Community and its member states. Protocol on cultural cooperation is, I would say, the development part of that. What the protocol does is provide for young artists, broadly defined, in fact the agreement says what is an artist anyway, who are not yet well known, who are not commercially viable, but have an interest in collaborating and learning and becoming professionals, to collaborate with European counterparts. In a nutshell, what the agreement does is provide for collaborations between European and Caribbean producers or artists or creative persons of an audiovisual nature to qualify as European content, and that means it can be shown in all 27 European countries.
We are also very proud of it, but I think the merit goes in particular to the Caribbean negotiator who fought very much for it. So it's a recognition also to the cultural industries to be an industry and to have a future, an economic value in the future. So in that sense, it merits everything. It merits a lot of consideration also in the promotion policies.
The special nature of the EPA itself required a very unique negotiating and technical process. At one stage, it seemed that others were outpacing the CARIFORUM region. But in the end, what emerged was a comprehensive agreement unlike anything else.
If you look at what happened between the beginning of November and the 16th of December, what you would realize is that each and every ACP region signed an interim agreement with Europe before us. In that queue, we were the last to sign an agreement in 2007. The difference, however, is that we signed a comprehensive agreement because we were always aiming for a comprehensive agreement. We had prepared ourselves technically and were always negotiating a comprehensive agreement. It was no surprise that the other regions in Africa and the Pacific did not sign because they had not done the technical work.
In the area of goods, however, CARIFORUM manufacturers enjoy distinct advantages over their EU counterparts, with immediate duty-free, quota-free access for all goods except rice and sugar. EU goods, on the other hand, are subject to phased reduction of tariffs. The Caribbean's highly sensitive agricultural sector has also succeeded in getting some element of phased protection for its traditional exports of sugar and bananas.
Sugar has received an increase in terms of the quota that we have gotten into Europe. There has been a significant increase in the quota that the region has received. And in the area of bananas, bananas immediately has received duty-free, quota-free treatment into Europe. Bananas is a very sensitive area, however, because in the World Trade Organization, the WTO, there are discussions to reduce the overall tariffs that everybody will pay into Europe significantly, thereby reducing what we call the preference margin. So if, for instance, we're getting duty-free, quota-free treatment for bananas now and everybody's paying 200 euros per ton, if that goes down to 120 euros per ton, the competitive advantage that we would have versus Latin America and other banana producing countries and regions would be reduced.
Indeed, under the EPA, the Caribbean's agricultural sector enjoys a comparative advantage over that in the EU.
We were careful to negotiate an agreement that protected all our sensitivities, and I say all our sensitivities. For instance, in the area of goods, we have an exclusions list. And that exclusions list covers nearly everything that the countries consider to be sensitive. It comprises about 13% of CARIFORUM's imports from the European Union. Most of those, incidentally, are sensitive agricultural products. About 75% of what we import from the European Union, agricultural goods, are completely excluded from liberalization. But that 13% doesn't really tell you the full story, because that is the global picture for CARIFORUM. When you break that down, country by country, what you begin to see is the bigger countries, i.e. Dominican Republic, first and foremost, Trinidad and Tobago, second, Jamaica, third, bore the brunt of the liberalization, shielding the smaller countries, that is the OECS and Belize, from the obligation to liberalize as much, so that the overall picture, while showing 13% exclusion, hides the fact that for the OECS as a group, that figure is 30%. For Belize specifically, it's 39%.
Up next, Caribbean businesses respond to the EPA. Some CARIFORUM businesses are already reporting EPA-related cost reductions, which are making their products more competitive in the massive European market.
What the EPA has done for my business and any other business that imports from the Caribbean into the UK, it has removed a tier of costs. Prior to the EPA, there were various levy charges that we had to pay on goods coming in from the Caribbean, primarily to do with the sugar content. So it equated to roughly 2% of the value of the goods. The EPA has stopped that overnight, so we no longer pay that particular surcharge. And of course, that means we can effectively keep our prices low and so benefit the people who we're selling to and the people we're buying from. So that's been one positive aspect of the EPA on my particular business and anybody who imports into the UK and the EU.
For the region's private sector, the EPA offers the right framework for expanding their businesses and lifting their game.
Well, from the TTMA's perspective, we believe that the EPA will provide a mechanism for our members to increase their own competitiveness. We will have an opportunity to explore new regions and new markets, and it will force us almost to meet international best standard and best practice. We are also very pleased with the developmental aspect of the EPA agreement, which will allow us to benefit from their technology and the development needs of our region and the integration of our region.
I believe the stars are aligned right now. We have not had a better opportunity to export Caribbean products, Dominican products, and from the rest of the Caribbean, whether they're industrial goods or perishables, whether they're normal or organic, to the European market.
No, yo lo heredé de